coming to you live from my bathroom. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but I'm here for a good reason. Some of you have asked on how I paint my Howling Griffons, and I thought I would share with you step by step what I do to paint them. The first step is to use an airbrush. I have the GW hand flamer, works pretty well. And I'm looking forward to this Christmas maybe upgrading to something a little bit better, but for now, that's what I got. So we're going to start off by mixing the paint. The spray gun has this really nice feature, which you can see here, where the bottle is actually marked. You put in, tells you how much water, how much paint to put in. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I've already filled it up with some water, and I'm going to add the paint. For my Howling Griffons, I start with a white spray primer, which you'll see in a minute, and then I spray the models with the end in dark sun. Here's a pot, I've screwed the lid off already. So now I'm going to pour this into the pot, making sure I get to the right level. Alright, I've hit the line for the mix. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it up, making sure that the paint and the water are mixed evenly. And then I'll be back at my spray station for the next step. Be back in a moment, guys. Hey guys, Sharon here. Here at my painting station. You can see it's not that crazy. It's just it's my paint and prime station. Just a bunch of newspaper taped up around the area in one of my work areas in my apartment. So here's the GW hand flame. You can see it's pretty well worn, used. I've been spraying a lot of guys yellow recently. I've got my paint all mixed up, ready to go. I've got some models to spray. I like to use a box when priming and when airbrushing base coats, because you're definitely going to have spray over, and too much of it will soak through the paper and can stain the surface underneath. Nothing too much to worry about with this table, but if you're doing it at home, you don't have a junk area where you can work, I suggest definitely using a box or something to keep the overspray to a minimum. Alright, so before we start, I wanted to talk a little bit about some other stuff that I use, like some other tools and things I have around that I like to keep when I'm using my airbrush. First thing is cotton swabs. Cotton swabs are great for cleaning out clogged paint and general cleanup and mess, and soaking up puddles of paint that sometimes happen when you overspray or spray too much in an area on a model. Secondly, I usually keep a poker tool. This happens to be a bit for a Dremel. It's kind of old and a little bit worn. I've since replaced it in my Dremel. I use this to basically go inside the airbrush and break up chunks, because occasionally chunks of paint, when you pour it in, you don't notice them, and they'll come up the reservoir and get stuck in the gun, and this is a good tool to help. Additionally, I like to have some paper towel. You never know what kind of mess you're going to make when you're doing this, just to be secure and safe. And that's about it. So I'm going to set up and get the camera in position, and then come back and talk about how I spray. Alright, I'll be back in a moment, guys. Okay guys, here. I got my painting areas set up. I've got the paint attached to the spray gun. I'm going to do a couple of test sprays. What I've done is I've screwed this nozzle here, which you can see right here. What that nozzle does is it controls how much paint goes in and out of the gun. So what I've done is I've screwed it all the way down, so absolutely no paint comes out. So what I'm going to do, and I like to do this because it gives me an even base to start with every time, is I'll screw all the way down and then screw up just a little bit to get a little bit of paint. So you'll notice I have this, what used to be a A&W root beer can soda box. I use this as my test spray area. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get the mix just right. It doesn't seem to be spraying just yet. Let me screw it up just a little bit more. There you go, you can see the gun's now spraying. Alright.